374 years ago, a violent battle took place one July day in a swamp located within the borders of what would become Fairfield.
It was one of the last battles of the war, and really one of the most significant in that it sort of, that was the final blow, if you will, to the Pequot.
The Great Swamp Fight of 1637, a last stand in the Pequot War, ending the tribe's shoreline dominance. Dr. Kevin McBride, Director of Research at the Mashantucket Pequot Museum and Research Center, explains.
The impact of the Pequot War Native people was profound. The defeat of the Pequots sort of created a power vacuum, if you will, that other Native tribes attempted to fill over the next 4 decades.
So how did they get to this point? In May of the same year, the powerful Pequots fled their home territory in Mystic after the English set their entire village ablaze, killing 400 men, women, and children. From arrow tips to musket balls, the artifacts retrieved from the Mystic site are intricately tied to the Fairfield battlefield.
These are precisely what we would expect to find at the Fairfield swamp fight.
The Pequots sought refuge in a swampy area of Southport, where I-95 now cuts through.
The site is still there, in spite of the development, in spite of the impacts on the site. I think it's important to know that it's still there.
And it is there that close to 100 Pequots and 200 Sasqua Indians found themselves surrounded by the English and their allies, the Mohegans. Most of the tribe's warriors fought to the death. The Pequot women and children were enslaved. Their leader, Sassacus, did escape to New York only to be killed by the Mohawks. It was a turning point for the Pequots, who lost their political and cultural identity, but not forever.
It decimated the tribe, obviously. The fact that they are still here on this landscape today is a testament to their tenacity.
And the research continues with future plans to dig in Fairfield, with the guidance and help of institutes like the Fairfield Museum and History Center.
They have an amazing amount of resources down there for us. So we'll coordinate with them in the community, and probably we're looking maybe in a couple of years we'll do this.
History that will once again come alive.
But until you see it, touch it, sometimes it really isn't, it doesn't really come alive. It really doesn't sort of grab you. But when we see things like this, those kinds of things really, make you realize that, you can't step that far away from it. It's still pretty close.
Historical event back in the 1600s that really shaped history for many years.